back. Welcome to the Chaotic Breakfast with Michelle and Emrys. Jason has joined us today.
Hello.
Joined us for breakfast. My brother Jason here. He made us hash brown things so that way we can pretend we're on a cruise ship right now. So today, Jason, this was actually Jason's idea to do this. The benefits of using a travel agent. So like, is a travel agent necessary to be, do you need to use a travel agent? What are the benefits of using a travel agent? All those wonderful things. So let's get started. So do you have to use a travel agent? No, you don't have to. Definitely don't have to. You can definitely do all the planning and booking and all that yourself. Especially these days with like cruise line websites are fairly good. Cruise line apps are good. There's still some things that you do have to call in for. But like back when we were taking our first cruises, even excursions and stuff like that, you had to call in for. So much stuff you had to call in for. Flights you had to call in for. Whereas now, especially through like Princess has been great using the consumer end of stuff. So no, you don't have to. The question travel agents, travel advisors get quite often is, can you get me a deal? The answer is usually no. We often have the same pricing as the suppliers do, as the cruise lines directly do. If you're seeing extreme deals on stuff like Expedia or anything like that, usually there's a catch to it. Usually it's not refundable, non-changeable, it's horrible rooms that they're trying to sell. Usually there's a reason why it's so cheap. And often, even then often the prices are the same as what we can get. The price benefit with a travel agent is sometimes we have groups going and groups might have a discounted rate, but like right now I have a Mexico Riviera group going, and the price that I have booked at, my booking slot, is actually more than what the deals are going on right now. So I'm actually booking them as the deal and just booking it in as a group. The group benefit is stuff like onboard credit, and that is the benefit of travel agent in general, because often we have stuff where we get onboard credit. So I have a group going to Hawaii next year, and even though they aren't a group, like there's not enough people in that group to be considered a group to get the group benefits, my travel agency has group space, therefore they are part of that group and getting onboard credit for it. And so stuff like that often will happen. But in terms of pricing, it's a lot of us we know our deals. We know what promotions are going on what cruise lines, at what times. Like Royal Caribbean just had a kids sail free event. Princess currently has guests 3 and 4 sailing free, which means you just pay the port fees and taxes. And then also like $100 deposits are happening now for Princess. It's more like that kind of pricing, so that way you're not trying to find, okay, which cruise line has what deals. And that's the reason why I only work with select cruise lines, because I can't keep track of 20 different cruise lines and what promotions they have going on. I just can't. Whereas by having only a few that I specialize in, I can keep track of those deals and I can make sure that I'm booking in. Also, I choose cruise lines that I believe in are best for my clients. Yeah. Main benefit that you are using a travel agent for is our expertise and our knowledge. We go through extensive training. We have like our travel agent training in general, but then like I'm a certified cruise counselor, so I've gone through my travel agent training, my cruise generalized training through the Cruise Line International Association, which is a big organization for cruise lines. And then on top of that, I've gone through my expert training through each cruise line as well, each cruise line that I sell. Obviously, I can't, again, do all the cruise lines ever because there's so many different cruise lines. But for me, I am able to do the cruise lines that I believe in. So, and what is this button here? Oh, okay. Just finding random buttons. So I'm able, like I'm a Princess Cruises certified expert. I've done all the Disney training, which is funny because for Disney, I actually have to do all the Disneyland and Disney World training and the Hawaii training. I have to do all the training. I can't just do the training for the cruise line. I guess I could have, but in order to get any of like my Disney certification stuff. I have to do it all. But it works out great for people that if they want to do like a Disney World vacation before their Disney cruise, I have training for that. But mostly like we have just so much knowledge and expertise. Often when I'm dealing with the call center, it's sometimes frustrating because those people are just random people who have a job at a call center. And as former call center person, I know what it's like where you just don't know all this stuff and it's your day job. You go in, you aren't really committed to doing, knowing all the things. Whereas like as a travel advisor, it is literally my job to know all the things and to be able to best serve my clients. Whereas and this is the difference too between on cruise staff and on land staff. The on the cruise ship customer service is usually fantastic on cruise lines because those people are fully invested in you, whereas the land-based stuff is hit and miss. And we've gotten so much misinformation. You want juice? Gotten so much misinformation where it's like, okay, I know this to be a fact, but then the call center is saying something different, and it's like they sometimes don't even know what they're talking about. So we have sometimes better training, and we also have the experience, whereas like the land-based call center people might have never cruised before. Whereas for us, like especially with Princess and Royal, I haven't done Disney and I haven't done Virgin Voyages. Those are and then Princess and Royal, the other two lines I saw. But like Royal, we've done a bazillion Royal, we've done a bazillion Princess. Like we are, Jason, my brother here, is not a travel agent, but he probably can name the majority of the Princess ships.
Yeah.
Can you name all 17?
Probably not offhand, right?
Yeah,
Pretty close.
But he could tell you about embarkation process and disembarkation and tender and stuff like that because of the experiences that he's had. Also, he has to live with me and listen to me and my trainings and this, that, the other thing. But yeah, like we tend to just have better. Hello, Big Gulp. How are you? I am fine. How are you? How are you doing on a Sunday morning here? Joining us for breakfast. Thanks for joining us. Another thing that is a huge benefit of a travel agent is time. Saving you so much time and stress. I'm not taking you out. Do you want more potato? So much time and stress. It can take, like, I remember when I was first doing my own cruises, because we originally used a travel agent. I didn't like her. It just did not match with, I didn't believe like she had our best, she cared about us. And also as my personality, I like to plan all the things. Great stream so far. Thank you. So we used to use a travel agent. I decided I was no longer, I found you on YouTube recommended. Perfect. Well, welcome. Come and subscribe. I do cruise content. So if you're interested in cruising or travel in general, hit the subscribe button because that's what we're here for. And I'm glad YouTube is recommending my stream because the YouTube has told me that they don't like to recommend the horizontal streams, but I post these afterwards and I find that the vertical streaming is just, I don't like it. I did it on my other channel. Anyway, I get distracted a lot, so welcome. Time. So when we started planning our own cruises, I realized like how much time it takes to plan our cruises. And as a travel agent, because I'm planning so many different cruises and I have a system in place for planning stuff, some stuff is a lot faster for me to do, but also this is my job. So like me to plan your vacation for you is what I'm here for. Whereas for you, you might be like, well, I don't know where to start. So I don't know where to look, don't know where to find those things. I have access to also the same information that call centers have. So when clients have questions for me that I don't know off the top of my head, which a lot of the time I know it off the top of my head, the answer. But if it's something that I need to look up, I actually have access to the same systems that the call centers have. So I can go into that back end system and search something up and be able to find the same answer. I'm doing literally the same thing that the call center is doing, where they're just typing in a question and trying to find the information. I know where to look for things as well, and I know how to find the most up-to-date information. We, as travel agents, get updated constantly on stuff with cruise news and ship information and stuff like that. So I save you so much time because you're not trying to find all that information by yourself and trying to plan all your excursions and all that stuff. I take care of that for you. Same with flights. I book your flights. I do all your transfers and just make sure that you have the best cruise possible without wasting all your time trying to figure it all out. And if you are doing a group, say you have a bigger family that you want to do a family reunion, or you have a church group or any sort of group at all, and you want to do that. If you were trying to do it by yourself, trying to navigate getting everyone's deposits together, trying to navigate booking a group and finding what cruise line suits you best, all that stuff would take so much more time, whereas hiring on a travel agent, we can do it all for you. Like, that's what we literally is our job, is to do that all for you, and we can coordinate with all the guests involved and whatnot.
And as someone who's had her planning my vacations for a long time, it is very nice to just show up at the vacation and have it all just there and ready.
Bryony, howdy, hello Bryony, welcome. Bryony, one of my regular friends. We're coming to you, 2027. We're planning. She's the one that's in Scotland.
Oh, okay.
Yes. But she is coming to Alaska with us in 2026. She is currently registered.
Awesome.
So, looking forward. Fred, I need a travel agent. If you are looking for a travel agent that is doing cruises, I specialize in cruises. So, traveling beyond boundaries. For definite, to Southampton, are you going to come? Yes. I'm going to say like 99% sure we are going from Southampton on a cruise 2027, because like looking at what we've done in the past and what we are looking to do in the future, we want more Europe stuff and we want to go from Southampton. And also Ruth, if Ruth watches this later, she is another one. She is in England, and so she has expressed interest on doing something from Southampton as well. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we're looking to probably do a couple back-to-back things. So, but Scandinavia is the one that I'm hoping we can get done, or Spain and Portugal, one or the other. And then we'll probably tack on a British Isles or something like that. Do you want more potato? Exciting. Yes, Bridie, very exciting. I'm looking forward to it. And then talk. This is Jason's first Sunday live.
Oh, yeah.
And it's very chaotic. I'm actually on topic a little bit more than usual, but I always have notes. I have notes. Today it's on a receipt. Yeah. This is where I need like a paper notebook or something like that. Anyway, travel agents can. Bryony, hi Jason. I've seen you plenty, never spoken.
Well, hello. How are you?
Yeah, you want to just kind of be a part of it? Scoot over.
I'm now part of the stream.
Yeah, come join the stream. Now that you're done eating, he's done eating,
Yeah.
so we'll watch him eat. We should do some. I think we'll do like a live stream about our Norway plans once we get closer to that. Anyway, travel agents can help you make sure that you have the right documentation. Funny story. So if you book a cruise on your own and you're like, I changed my mind, I booked it. You can actually, usually within 30 to 90 days, depending on the cruise line, transfer it to a travel agent to take over that booking for you to help you out. And so I have had clients do that before. And one client, first time cruiser, booked her stuff and transferred it over to me, and birth dates wrong, names wrong, stuff that would have totally denied them boarding. Are you gonna try to? What are you wanting? You want juice? And so, as a travel agent, part of my job is to make sure that we have the right documentation. What visas do you need? Is your passport about to expire? A lot of people don't realize that you actually, for most countries, need your passport valid for 6 months after the start of your cruise. So stuff like that. The United States have passport cards, so I've gotten questions about passport cards versus passport books. In Canada, we don't have that, but like documentation that's required. Games by, I'm not even gonna try to say that. Do you, no? Message retracted.
It's gone.
There was something about cruises. so yeah, making sure that you have the right documentation, depending on what cruise you're doing. Oh, do you want more potato? Is that what she's like grabbing at me? Making sure that you have, are you brothers? I'm female, male, brother. Yes, do you do IP2 cruise? I don't know what IP2 means. I'm not sure. What if you can spell out what IP2 cruise means? Don't know. So yes, this is my brother. Anyway, and then my daughter is currently eating. YouTube must be recommending this, and
getting some interesting.
yeah.
Now a little crooked.
Now we're a little crooked.
Yeah.
Just gonna block some comments, people. So anyway, do you know the famous travel agent? No, I don't know random travel agents. So anyway, where was I? Yeah, so knowing what documentation you need for what type of cruises that you're doing, all that kind of stuff is super important, because you can be denied boarding if you do not have the right documentation, or the documentation is wrong, doesn't match what you put in. So for instance, the one client who had the birth date wrong, she would have been denied boarding because none of her documentation had that as her birth date. Even simple stuff like your name, if you go by a longer form of your name. Greetings from Scandinavia.
Oh, wow.
Hello, we are hoping to do a Scandinavia cruise in 2027. Welcome, welcome. But say, for instance, trying to think, your name is Christopher and you go by Chris. If you put in Chris, but all your documentation says Christopher, some of the cruise lines will be nitpicky like that. Just being like, no, you need to have your stuff matching. So as a travel agent, I am responsible for making sure that all of your stuff is correctly inputted into the system, making sure that you have the right birth dates and whatnot. And making sure that you have the right visas if visas are required. Don't take this. Yeah, just blocking you. Goodbye. So where was I? Sometimes YouTube recommending. Yeah, exactly, Bryony. The amount of trolls. This is the downside to YouTube recommending people live, because then you just end up with trolls versus people who actually care about us and care about our channel. And that's why my blanket rule is, you're being an ass, you just get blocked. It's just easier that way. You don't want that one. So, like I had said earlier, a benefit is that we have actual experience. Most travel agents, if you are booking with a travel agent and you are booking for a certain type of vacation, please do not book with one that has not done that. Sometimes you'll have travel agents, especially new travel agents, that are like, I want to specialize in cruising, but I've never taken a cruise before. And, yes, exactly, yeah. Oh. And so, please, when you choose a travel agent, choose someone that specializes in it. Do not come to me for a vacation, an all-inclusive. I will not book an all-inclusive for you, because I have zero experience in an all-inclusive. The only training I have for all-inclusives is the general travel agent training, and then I do have a travel agent specialty for beaches and sandals vacations, just because they are a cruise. They are an all-inclusive that has an autism program, and my daughter has autism, and so having those, having inclusive resorts that are all-inclusive was important to me. We're actually thinking about checking out the beaches in Jamaica. Bryony, regarding getting the name wrong on booking, like what? I'm so shocked people make that mistake. I'm too paranoid to do that. Often it's like someone got married and did not update their passport yet. So their passport has their maiden name on it, but they put in their married name. Or like I said, long name, but they go by a nickname. Or families that like, they go by their middle name. So it's like their legal first name is this, but they've never gone from that. They go by this instead. And so they put in what they go by, not realizing that their documentation needs to match it. So like stuff like that. So it's not like intentionally being like, oh, I'm putting in the wrong name because I feel like putting in the wrong name.
People just not understand that they need to have their legal name and everything to do this.
Yeah. And stuff like leaving out middle names can sometimes be an issue. Like John Doe, if your name is John Doe, like you need to put in your middle name. Whereas like having more of a unique name, it seems to be less of an issue, but I always recommend put in your middle name. Just make sure that that's in there. Yeah, so anyway, so experience. So we have the experience, like, and we have enough experience, like, for instance, we have not been on, say, Holland America, but we have enough experience on premium cruise lines, like Princess, to understand a lot of Holland America. Same with Disney. We've never been on a Disney cruise. I wouldn't mind going on a Disney cruise. But if you're like, oh, I'm looking at doing a Disney cruise to Alaska, I am an Alaska expert. We love Alaska. We've done Alaska. I have, like, Alaska is my thing. So, like, I might not have the experience of Disney, but I've done the training and I have enough cruise experience that I can do that. Whereas if you're like, oh, I want to book a honeymoon in Iceland, then it's just hard because I can't do that. In the UK, it's always done a thing to book and everything to match your passport. I guess it's because we use our passports for a ton of stuff, not just holidays. Yeah, and I feel like, I don't know if it's common in the UK, maybe not, but like here in Canada, a lot of people don't even have passports. Another thing is there's also racism. I was denied. Yeah. Thank you, YouTube, for recommending, but please recommend to people in my niche. But yeah, like, go to a travel agent that knows what they're talking about for that specific thing. There's a reason why I switched from doing more luxury cruises like Viking and Cunard. I just felt like I don't cruise that way. I don't have that experience. And I'm like, I want to do more family cruises. I want to do Royal Caribbean because that's what we have a lot of cruises on. I want to do more of those types of things where, and what do you want? Money. But yeah, where was I? Personalized service. So for travel agents, we qualify you. We have a conversation with you. My process is that we have either a video call or a phone call. And so I can get to know you and your preferences and who you are when you are traveling. Because sometimes you might just be like, oh, well, Expedia has a great price on an MSC cruise. One, I will never sell MSC. Two, like, it might be that it's just not like the style is just not for you. Recently, there's a lot of people selling Virgin Voyages because for travel agents, they are very good money makers. But that cruise line is very unique. And so depending on your client, if you are trying, it's an adult-only cruise line, so the children issue. But like depending on who your client is and what they want to do, that cruise line might not be for them. Whereas other clients might love it. And so we are trained to know what our cruise lines are, as well as knowing who our clients are, so that way we can give the best service. For instance, if you have a baby or a child that is not toilet trained, and your child loves to splash in the water and swim, putting them on a Princess Caribbean ship probably isn't the best idea. Putting them on Cunard is probably not the best idea. There's just certain cruise lines where it's like you have a child, you need to know, like Royal Caribbean has some ships with baby pools. Having a travel agent that knows what, it's pretty rare for people here not to have a passport, but it makes sense because we're a smaller country and next to cheap, Spain and stuff like that. Yeah, whereas here, like for Canadians, our place is the United States. And for Americans, I guess Canada and Mexico, but like we just don't, like a lot of Canadians have not left their province because we have such big places. But yeah, like knowing, for instance, if you have a child that loves to swim but isn't toilet trained, I know which Royal Caribbean ships have baby pools, whereas that's research that you might have to do yourself, or a lot of people don't even realize that children that aren't toilet trained can't go in typical baby pools or can't go in typical pools. So just having that knowledge and experience and being able to personalize your trip based off of your needs. Finding accessible excursions for you, finding excursions based off of your travel preferences. We travel a very specific way. I have clients that travel very different than us, like who are much more adventurous than we are, and being able to make sure that they're getting what they want in their room preferences, in their dining preferences, all that kind of stuff. The last thing I have is, what does that say? Trip management. Trip management. So if you go and book your own cruise alone without a travel agent, you then have to manage everything yourself. You usually get a document that has like a couple dates scribbled on it, with ports and stuff. Whereas like with me, I have a trip management system. I use a thing called Travel Joy, and so I plug all your pieces of your itinerary, I type them out, or just swipe them out on my phone, and have a step day by day itinerary for you. And I can plug in stuff like your excursions, I can plug in stuff like your flights, I can plug in all that information for you, so that way when you are ready to travel or getting close to travel, you can see that on the app and just be like, oh, this is what I'm doing this day at this time. This is where my flights, the system that I use updates your flights even. So if your flight's delayed, you'll get a notification. You don't need to have 7 million different systems in place to keep track of things. Also, I will hound you for your final payment. I can do payment plans and stuff like that to make sure that you have your payments on time. But having a system that is a travel agent system, we just have more systems in place. Even in terms of bookings, I have access to systems that the general public don't have access to, which is one of the reasons why I love being a travel agent for my own trips, because stuff like transfers, airport transfers, we currently have 2 cruises with Royal Caribbean that I booked prior to becoming a travel agent. And I then used a travel agent, but then that travel agent is no longer doing travel agent stuff. And so we took that reservation back, but I wasn't able to transfer it to me as a travel agent. So there's a lot of stuff that I am still using as a consumer, with needing to call in for things and message for things and not having access to certain things. And it's so frustrating because as a travel agent, I have access to pretty much anything that the call center has access to. So being able to manage all that trip management stuff, and not needing to juggle all those pieces and figure out all the things, is just super beneficial to you being able to keep track of things. Like I said, even just like excursions. Like I don't have I don't use this system so much for our cruises because I have cruised so much that I know what I'm doing. But sometimes I do, and just being able to be like, oh, this excursion is on this date at this time, instead of needing to go into the app for, say, Princess or Royal or Disney and be like, okay, where's my excursion list? And Royal is fairly good for this. Princess can be sketchy. You can just see it all in the same place and see the times and whatnot. So anyway, anything else you want to add?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Maybe just like all the notifications along the way.
Oh, yes. I didn't write that one down, but getting all your information. So having emails sent out regularly to you about different things, things that you might not have thought about, things that you might not know about. Say, for instance, you're a first-time cruiser and one of your ports is a tender port. And you're like, I don't even know what a tender port is. What does this mean? What do I do? That kind of thing. At some point in your wait before your cruise, you will receive an email from me saying like, this is what a tender is. This is what the process is. And a lot of that peace of mind stuff of just being like, here's about your ship. Here's your dining options on that ship. Here's what the Princess Medallion is. I've been in Facebook groups where people are first-time cruisers with Princess, and it's like not a travel agent group. It is legitimately just a consumer group. And people are like, I'm going on a cruise in 2 days, and people keep talking about this medallion. What is it?
It's amazing.
It's amazing. But stuff like, oh, what is the medallion? What can it do for you? And I mean, I have videos on my channel about the medallion, and I have videos on my channel about I don't have a tender process one, but I will be having a tender process one, and muster drill and stuff like that. But instead of you needing to research that all yourself, I will deliver that to your inbox for you. And travel agents are all different, but that's where like I am a service-based travel agent. I'm not just booking for you to get you the best deal kind of thing. Whereas there's a lot of travel agents out there that are just like, I will get you the lowest price and I will beat prices and I will do this and that. And it's like, that's not me. I am a service. You are hiring me for my service that I provide and my expertise that I provide. Sure, I can book you a cruise for dirt cheap. It's probably going to be Carnival. It's probably going to be short. It's probably going to be one of the worst experiences of your life. But I can guarantee that I can get it for cheap. So stuff like that where it's like you're hiring me for my service. You're not hiring me. It's the same as like you go to a hairdresser. I do not go to a hairdresser because I'm cheap and I just shave my head anyway. But people go to a hairdresser for their expertise and the fact that they've trained for it, the fact that they can do a better job. Whereas for me, it's like, I don't care. So there will always be those that don't care and will be happy to book on their own and do all the work themselves. But then I am not there for those people. I am here for those that want the service and the expertise, whatnot. So anyway, that's it for today. If you're watching this after the fact, hopefully all the comments that I blocked will not even show up for you. Thank you, YouTube, for putting this on the recommended, but please find cruise people, not random gamer people.
Weird spam.
Weird spam. No, just please don't. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Hit the subscribe button. Like I said, Traveling Beyond Boundaries is my website, and you can book a cruise through there, and my process for booking a cruise is all on there. And I will see you guys later. Bye. Say bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.